The one and only Brian Bumgardner of Northbeam is coming to us for said weather report. It's one of our favorite segments of the week. I'm just gonna,
Weather report.
Oh my gosh.
Weather report.
it's growing
No,
on me. It's
it's
growing on
not.
me.
It's
It's
not
growing
growing
on
on
me.
me.
I
Oh
think
my
it's growing on you
gosh.
too. I think it's growing on you too. We'll ask Brian if it's growing on him. He may have
Oh,
some interesting facts and stats for us related to AI search, how it is affecting D2C brands, and more. We must bring him inside of the show. Everybody, welcome the one and only Brian Baumgartner of Northbeam. Get in here, Brian.
Let's
Get in.
go.
Hey guys, what's up?
let's go.
Brian. Brian, looking back.
Thoughts on the intro sound. Thoughts on the
Uh,
intro sound.
Is it
I
growing
dig
on
it,
you?
man. It's classic. It's classic.
Let's just play it for Colin again.
Weather report. Weather report.
You know, sometimes you just roll with things and they just have a way of sticking around because they were always that way, you know,
Come
and
on.
it kind of grows on you, you know. Maybe something to that. Maybe something to that. Brian, are you traveling across the whole earth again this week? Are you back home? You're always looking dapper as usual. Where does this week find you, sir?
Well, I'm back home in New York this week. We had an event last Friday up in the Hamptons, Camp Commerce.
Right.
That was pretty cool. There's tons of pictures and stuff online. If you guys haven't seen that, go take a look.
Let's
I
go.
mean, that's like one of my favorite get-togethers of the year. And it was cool. Sucks who got rained out, so it was an early night, but
Oh,
still good times, good talks, and good sessions. I think a lot more senior and high level than what you might get at like a normal conference. I don't know. There's something to the smaller, more intimate groups where like people get real. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And Camp Commerce is like the perfect balance of like a good time, a good day with good programming, and also lots of time to socialize. So, but yeah, I'm back in New York this week. Let's
I
go.
saw some pictures of you out on, some glorious landscape, viewing some, I don't know if it's an ocean or what it was. I can't remember, but it was quite beautiful. And methinks that one could have a very productive, intimate, business, helpful conversation amidst that particular setting. Brian, now that you're back home, viewing all of the things, accumulating, analyzing all of the data, what bubbles up front top of mind for you this week? What are you seeing and taking away for everyone inside of our ecosystem, sir?
Well, it is August 13th today.
It is.
That
It
is generally the start of back to school for most people in America. So that's
Right.
kicking up this week. So the kids are back in school. Normally, that's when we start realizing what we need to buy or not buy. So
Right.
some of the performance you might be seeing, especially on things like Amazon ads, might be improving this week if you sell something that's a little bit back to school or need state in that way. At the same time, a lot of the ad platforms that maybe kids are using more often in school, I think of Snapchat, TikTok, even
Ooh.
Pinterest, are starting to appear. So you're going to see maybe some bumps in performance there, but we're still pretty early in terms of Q4 run. So no real like urgent, hey, this is happening in the algorithms this week. I think middle of September, I'm gonna be on the show and I'll be like, on this specific day, your CPMs are gonna skyrocket.
Oof.
But not quite sure what day that is yet. We're still analyzing. I see it every year. There's like one day where like the party happens, and I'm like, did we talk about this? Is everybody jacking their spend up at the same time? But it's going to be mid-September probably before we see anything crazy. So I'm spending some time right now looking at things like AI search, stuff I was talking about today on X and things I published in the Media Buyer today.
Just on our way there, it's fascinating to me that you mentioned Snapchat, because they did have a big bump in the chart this week. Conversion rates up like 28%, which is kind of wild. But I am interested in this AI chewing away at D2C search performance. Can you scroll this, producer Jack? Brian's got an incredible chart here down. Yeah, keep going. It's the third chart. Yeah, keep going, keep scrolling down. This is a trend that I believe has been verified and has come out several times. Of course, we were talking about it out at Shopify, at .dev, etc. Tell us what you're seeing here, Brian.
So everybody is very excited about how AI is going to affect the way that the customer journey is going to go. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen really dramatic hot takes being like, it's going to completely replace search. Like, you're not going to need anything else. It's going to eat, everything. And I would love to talk about this, later in the segment. But like, I think there's an important distinction to make between what is information for us as marketers and what is information for the various hedge funds or investors
Mm.
who need certain results from these ad platforms or
Oh,
these AI platforms, and ads are the way they're going to get there financially, right? So what I'm seeing, looking at Northbeam data and measuring all touch points across all of our customers, is that AI especially is starting to eat into and contribute to your organic search revenue and your visits driven, by AI. And that's really interesting because that's what everybody said was gonna happen, but it's not the, like, meteoric overnight takeover, right?
mm.
There's a couple of things at play here. People are saying that they don't like AI generally, in theory.
Right.
At the same time, daily active users of ChatGPT are skyrocketing. So, like, those 2 things are both true, right? And at the same time, people don't like being advertised to, and yet I'm seeing on here that chat is at least recommending 8, 9% of it's at least influencing 8, 9% of your organic search revenue that we've seen last month. So
Wow.
like all of these weird hypocrisies all sit together.
They do.
Yeah, and that's what I find really interesting here. And I think the key takeaway is, number 1, you really can't ignore AI right now. I think it's still early. I'm not even gonna guess what these percentages could get to in terms of percentages. I can't guess because I don't know. And it's so volatile and it's so developing, like, we have no idea. But if you're a brand operator right now and you've thought about the value of AEO and GEO, I think it's something to think about. It's not anything you can ignore. Luckily, I think the way you succeed is very much like normal SEO. So that's good. There's no special secrets there. But it's time to get on. It's we're planting seeds here for trees that you'll sit under in like 5 years. And that's just like SEO, right? So there's weird
Right.
similarities there. But what else is happening to that customer journey? Like how users are using AI, bouncing back and forth, whether it's influencing awareness or discovery or bottom of funnel. These things are so hard to know. So what I do know is that it's influencing revenue right now, and very soon it'll be in the double digits. So
Yeah, 8% is nothing
That's
to
nothing.
snuff at.
Yeah, that's serious.
It's significant, and it's interesting how all of these factors do play all in concert. There's no data centers. AI scary. Don't take my job. Terminator 2, Skynet. In addition to this ad was made with AI. Get it out of my feed. You see those comments online, but at the same time, it's growing usage, and perhaps not the this will replace all search revenue. This will replace all revenue entirely. Everything's going to happen inside of an LLM. Like, we're definitely not there yet, but this rise and this trend, it's significant enough that if people aren't planting the seeds of what really feels like search SEO 2.0 in this kind of revitalized form, if they're not and paying no attention now, then it would become a real problem a couple years down the road here. That very much seems to be the case. It does feel like search 2.0 to me, although I know people would prefer me to say AEO or GEO or AI something EO. It feels like search 2.0 to me in a very real way.
here's what I want to say. And if you're a marketer, like, this is for you. Pay attention, right? It's really easy for us to see headlines about AI and make snap judgments about the tool or about the future of it or about whether or not we should be there as marketers. But most of the conversation around AI is actually by and for investors, hedge funds, futurists,
That's
people
interesting.
who have a very different motivation for talking about this, right? They're always talking about, should we be using it? Is it right? Is it wrong? Blah blah blah. Like, these audiences have a very different perspective and a very different goal than we do as marketers. And so I'll talk to people who will be like, and this is not exclusive to AI, this is many ad platforms where they'll be like, I don't know, like, should we be advertising on XYZ? Like, I saw their stock price was falling. And I'm like, why does that matter? Why
Right.
does that matter? What are you talking about? Like, we're not buying stocks here. Like, we're not buying stocks. We're trying to run ads. So don't conflate all these headlines you see about AI with, is the thing actually good for me to advertise on or not? Like, that is the key takeaway here. So if you have Northbeam, you're using it properly, shameless self plug, you know whether or not these things are working. You don't have to vibe off of like what headlines you're seeing. So like, if you're testing ChatGPT ads or you really want to understand where your AI traffic is coming from, you need to really look at your numbers and don't operate off of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt or extreme speculation you might see that's aimed at a completely different audience than you. So this is not just AI. I've seen the same conversation about AppLovin. I've seen the same conversation about Pinterest. Like, we're scientists here, folks. Like, we don't make guesses and judgments. Like, all marketers need to be scientists, and we don't make guesses and judgments off of like anecdotal stories that we hear. We focus on the numbers we get. So it is like search 2.0. I think it's something everyone's got to test and figure out, but you don't have to, or you don't have to run or avoid these ad placements just because you saw some headline. Like, yeah.
Preach, Brian. Preach, Brian.
Brian, speaking of that and buying on platforms, I'd love to talk about your week over week spend data, because unlike last week, this week I wasn't entirely depressed when I saw it. I didn't get completely sad and cry in a corner, because it seems like, I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to hate that I'm going to say this, it seems like Meta is somewhat stable right now. It feels like it. And I'm really excited about what you have with Microsoft and Snapchat right now.
Yeah, I think we're in the final stages of the time where you should be testing and trying out these new channels. So, like, you see people kind of pulling back their spend on certain things and cranking up Meta. All other platforms indexes pretty heavily on Amazon. So you're going to see that. Assume that's mostly connected to Amazon, right? And like, you're just going to see this share move as people start to prepare for the fall. Now, does it matter if everybody is putting their ad platforms or their ad spend on one platform or another? No. I know that our favorite thing in the world is to compare ourselves to everybody else, but it's like being in the gym. Don't worry about what they're doing. Worry about what you're doing. Like, that's just it. Everyone's business is different. Everyone's ad performance is different. Everyone's ad stack, their creators, everything is different. So when you're looking at this, it's important to be like, oh, okay, I see like some Meta numbers are going up, but like generally customer acquisition cost is down, and that's good. I've seen the same thing. That's where you stop, right? Now, certain things like these big shifts you might see on AppLovin.
Crazy.
That's another one I would say, like, yeah, that's another one I would say is maybe boosted a little bit by back to school. I mean, I don't know, college kids like sitting in a 400-person class, like playing Candy Crush, right? Like,
Yeah, could be.
you know, like that kind of thing, right? I love pulling like the macro in here, right? Because we talk about numbers all day long, so I try to like put myself in the heads of users of these platforms.
Right.
You know, compared to like, I don't know, what you might see on YouTube ads as well, where like CPM is also way cheaper because, hey, we're back on YouTube because we're watching, oh shit, like what did I talk about in calculus last year? Like, I need to watch a refresher, right? Like, these kind of things start to make sense. Yeah. So put yourself in the mind of your customers at the same time. Like, if you know a lot about them, you know kind of where they're hanging out and what their rhythms are and what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a fitness brand and all of a sudden you start seeing sales of your product spike in like the 2 months before a marathon in that city, like that's probably not unrelated, right? So as we get back to school, as we start settling into that, as Q4 prepares, like I think keeping that customer lens on this data is going to help make a lot of sense of it.
Not to get too tinfoil, but like TikTok being up significantly, it's probably harder for kids to pull their phones out and scroll TikTok while they're in the classroom. It's just my guess. And or they're hopefully not pulling their phones out and paying attention to the teacher and learning things. But that was just my thought process with seeing that TikTok data.
TikTok is a bit more sound on than Instagram is.
Fair.
Like, it's a bit more
Very
sound
true.
on. So like that one, that absolutely tracks. It's like a little bit harder.
Yeah.
In a public space. Yeah.
True.
You know, it's interesting too. You bring up the point, and you can bring us back here, Jack. You bring up the point about as marketers, like not paying attention to the investor headlines. Like,
Totally.
you know, it's interesting because, you know, there's a lot of hubbub about App 11 just a week or two ago and, you know, quarterly earnings, blah, blah, blah. Like, is that really what we're interested in as operators and people who are trying to make money? Like, no, we're not. We're interested in what our numbers are and like, where can I find $1? What's my contribution margin look like on various products and platforms, et cetera? Like, encouraging to see what's happening with App 11, like greens across the board, CPMs, conversion rate, click-through rate, CPCs, CAC. I mean, golly, double digits on a lot of these numbers. Very encouraging. I want to bring this up. I want to bring this up with you, Brian, to get your thoughts on this. I just feel OpenAI particularly has such a generational opportunity to
it's just crazy.
Let's cut out the noise. Okay. Let's lock in. Let's lock in on the thing that can make you a giant boatload of cash, which is that ad platform. I feel like we're fumbling the bag here. I feel like you know, we're fumbling the bag, and like everything that I am seeing, I have not advertised myself particularly on that platform. Everything I'm seeing is negative. Everything in terms of performance. It's like, guys, like generational op here. If we can get just a few more bright minds to focus on actually making that a winsome interaction, like any platform that will do that, like floods of cash will come in. I you know, I actually think X has the right mind here. They are revitalizing her whole ad platform to do this. Like, they are serious about it. I can't tell if OpenAI is yet.
Well, here's what they need to do. Basically, to remain solvent, they have told us that they need to make $100 billion ad business in 3 years. That is basically like just under 4 years, right? Like, to give themselves every possible day of it.
Wow.
They need to build the best performing ad channel in history in just under 4 years.
Oh my.
And they also need to win anywhere from 20 to 40% of your ad budget in order for them to stay operational. Now, yeah, so that's the problem here, right? And they need to do that in an environment where public sentiment towards them is negative. Even if our user behaviors, we still pick it up, we still talk to it, we still use it. Generally, the attitude towards them is not positive, right? Throw on top of that, we're in a really, really tough economic environment with tariffs, with consumer sentiment is just in the toilet, right? And people are more advertising avoidant than ever. And the intensity and frequency of ads, especially on Meta, which is the number one place that they're hanging out, are starting to increase. So it's not like OpenAI has the easiest run of it. Yeah. And I just fear that they'll make a lot of decisions based on that short time frame that will end up being more heavy-handed than they probably should be for like a chatbot placed ad placement, right? It took Facebook a decade to become this well-trusted ad platform where people were very comfortable buying ads off of it. OpenAI, and the only way that you win ad share away from Meta is by having a better bottom of funnel than Meta.
Yeah.
So OpenAI somehow needs to achieve the impossible in just under 4 years in order to hit their own targets, which currently they're missing their own ad revenue targets by 90%. So I'm like, yeah. And everything I'm saying is linked in the newsletter. You can go and you can read it. It's from them. Okay. So that makes me be like, how in the hell are they going to do this?
Oh, wow.
Like, I just don't know. And I don't know how you make an ad placement that exists in what on paper might be, you could argue, a very high intent environment. Someone's Googling, I'm looking for greens powder, right? Like
Right.
you would think that would be a high intent environment, but is it too on the nose? Is it the salesperson standing at checkout, like being like, hey, you have this other stuff in your cart. Are you sure you don't want this? Are you sure you don't want this? And we're like annoyed by it. Like,
Right.
it's a novel placement in a novel tool, which means it's a coin flip. And we, just because they say that they're going to make $100 billion in ad spend there, does not mean that we're all predestined to spend there. As always, follow your data, follow the metrics. Like, if it works, it might be the best thing ever created for marketers. If it doesn't, you will have tested it properly, and there is no missing the boat here or something, right, guys? Like, it's not a stock. It's not like the first mover advantage in marketing is riskier, and there's no like long-term payoff.
Wow.
Wow. Brian,
That
I
was a
I
mic
also
drop by
think
Brian.
I also think you have a more controversial take that is not involving AI. It's not involving Meta. It's not involving OpenAI, AppLovin, and any of the things. And you said it today, and I need you to defend it because I disagree with it so much. You said this morning. Coffee is such an inferior stimulant. What's going on here?
Wow.
Because I
Wow.
love my coffee, and apparently you're anti-coffee these days.
Whoa.
What's going
Whoa.
on here?
Listen,
Strong words.
Whoa.
Strong words.
a lot of the people who love coffee love the ritual, and that is undeniable. A ritual in the morning is like, yo, I strongly approve of this. Like, it's the best way to make sure your day is going to go the way you want. But I've tried coffee so many times. I've worked it in and out of my daily routine, and I just get the jitters, man. And then like
Oof.
right around 2 p.m., like an hour ago, I'm like laying on the couch. I'm like, I'm gonna fall asleep, and I'm like, ugh. I love yerba mate a lot.
Oh, I see where you're going with this, Brian. I see you.
Got it.
Yeah,
We
I
got
had
it.
I had a family friend introduce it to me right before I started grad school, and I was like, "This is some weird looking tea, but okay."
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I just love it. It's very heady. It's very makes you want to talk. It makes me very like much better at speaking and creative. And there's no crash, so that's my like plug, and that's why I have the gourd emoji in my
Let's
in my Twitter
go.
bio. Yeah,
Let's go. I always wondered what that thing was about.
I
Now,
love it, man.
Brian,
I drink it all the time.
You're
go.
full on gourd metal spoon, like you're doing the thing.
Yeah, the
Mason.
gourd, the bombilla, the whole thing. Sometimes I'll put it in a French press. You can also you can buy it in stores. A really interesting business called Guayaki that's been around for a really long time. Yeah, they've been around for like something like 22 years, but really cool business case. They just hired a new head of revenue from a I can't remember the guy's name. It's from another holding company that does a lot of CPG. So that's going to be a really interesting business case here in a couple of years because they've changed the branding around. All of a sudden, I start seeing them in more stores. They're playing with flavors and sizes and calorie counts. So if you're in CPG, go check out Guayaki. They're based in Sebastopol, California. Very cool little business that you should check out. And they're really introducing yerba mate to Americans, I feel like.
Well,
Let's
and they got special sauce. And I have had their product. Now that I look at this, Colin, because we covered top 10 tea beverages, canned tea beverages, like who's growing, who's not, etc. Guayaki, fastest growing tea canned. I think they were the only one in double digits year over year.
They were. Yeah.
And that's in concert with, the Arizona iced teas of the world who had the top spot, etc. They got some sauce. I have to say, for me, Brian.
Here we go.
Right now,
Here
right
we go.
now, my drink of choice is this bad boy. Look at that.
Oh,
That's
Ghost, yeah,
A&W
yeah.
Ghost, baby.
The A&W Ghost
A&W.
collab.
Oh man. And let me tell you, the mouthfeel, the taste,
it's an
not
A&W.
just the taste, the
It's an
mouthfeel.
A&W.
It's
It's the
A&W.
mouthfeel.
It's
It's
that,
crazy.
it's kind of like extra foamy.
It's
like
that. It's I don't know how
richness.
to describe that. Yeah.
I don't know how they did that. I don't know what
don't know how they did
magic
that.
they put in here. But to talk about like liquefied gold, golly. They just took like Ghost took their magic and then just somehow made it A&W. And when it hits the lips, I'm telling you, when it hits the lips,
You're juiced. You're
juiced.
juiced.
I'm gonna check it out, man.
Juiced.
Yeah.
Might be time, Brian. We appreciate you making the time to join us. Everybody should go and subscribe to Brian's newsletter. Comes out every week, themediabuyer.northbeam.io. If you want to win on the interwebs, go and subscribe. Be a scientist. And Brian, a particular bar from you this week. In God we trust. Everyone else must bring the data. Everyone else must bring the data. Be a scientist. Be like Brian. Go talk and work with Northbeam. Be a scaler, a knower of ball. Brian, we appreciate you making the time to join us. Look forward to having you back, man. Thank you, brother.
Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you next week.
Yeah,